Hi, I'm Bill Sheriff with Manhattan Metals Corp, niche gold, silver explorer, developer, and soon-to-be producer in Nevada.
Bill, good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Good to see
Thanks
you.
for having me.
Yep, and we're here in Tonopah.
Yeah, welcome to beautiful Tonopah. It's one of the hearts of exactly what we're doing.
It is actually. Good point. This place is growing on me, I have to say, after a week.
Tried after a couple of years. I used to live here off and on for a couple of years. I lived in a nice hotel here, and I looked at a lot of rocks. Yeah.
There's a lot of rocks to look at, and we're here doing the same thing. But like, we're exciting new project from you. We know you from uranium,
Right?
But Manhattan Metals, niche. What do you mean by niche?
Well, for years, geologists, myself included, have pounded the beautiful terrain in Nevada and mineral-rich terrain, and we've always looked for a 1 million-ounce gold deposit or better. Some companies want a minimum of 5 million.
Absolutely.
Well, math is not my major, but I can still look at things and say, 250,000 ounces is over $1 billion of gross metal value. And that's, $1 billion's not what it used to be, but it's still quite significant. And it just seems like there's an economic opportunity there on two different things. One is on the smaller open pit, cyanide that you see. But the other one is on high-grade abandoned deposits. And I don't mean really abandoned in that someone doesn't own them, although there are some. But what if you've got 5,000 ounces of high-grade gold in a small tonnage, and you're paying, $5,000 a year to the government to keep your claims? What's that worth to a typical prospector or owner? Well, the answer is it's worth minus $5,000 that you're paying to the government because you can't build a mill for that. It has to be milled, and certainly no company is looking at anything that small.
Right.
So there's, literally hundreds of these opportunities across the state of Nevada. There's over 300 gold districts in this state, and it's truly one of the most endowed areas in the world. So these orphan deposits, if you will, whether they be the larger, lower grade deposits that are not big enough, or simply the very small high grade deposits that need a mill, that's what our expertise is, and that's where we're going to go. And we just happen to have a mill.
You got a mill?
Yeah, gravity flotation mill.
Okay.
And it's rated at about 400 tons a day. We'll also be installing a circuit that's much smaller, something on the order of 20 to 25 tons a day for the exceptionally high grade, very limited tonnage, and go from there.
So you picked up a mill.
Right.
And you got that now? We
do. We have to disassemble it, move it, and reinstall it, re-permit it. So we've got a couple of years of work ahead of us on that.
Okay. So look, this is going to be listing soon. I guess when you get to market, you're going to have to be able to say, here's where we're putting said mill.
Yeah, that's right. That's what we're doing now, doing some background work.
Okay.
And
are we going to be in Nevada?
We will probably be in Nevada. We've got one spot we're looking at in Arizona, but ideally, of course, we're looking for a place that has water, power, ideally a sloping hillside. Even though most of the mills you see now are built on the flats and they pump everything every direction 3 times, we prefer the old-fashioned. There's a reason they built the mills on the hill in the old days. That is to take advantage of gravity. You don't need to pump everything everywhere.
Right.
And so that's one of the criteria we're looking at. And of course, the most important one is to find one of these spots that's got some ore on site that's suitable for being milled to get us started.
So we've got the mill. We need to maybe pick up some assets. Well, how does it work? Because obviously you're saying, right, this is the epicenter. This is the heart of the operation. We're looking for orphaned or abandoned projects which are not desirous. So people have not can pick these up for whatever reason.
They've overlooked them because it doesn't fit their scale, or the individuals own them and know there's value there but have no way to exploit that value.
Okay, so the concept is roll up. That's what we're buying into.
The concept is taking advantage of opportunities that no one else is pursuing, but you're going to end up with a number of these. So in that sense, yes, instead of getting big production out of one asset in many years, these smaller ones are quicker and easier to permit. Assemble a group of those. A couple of issues we'll have, of course, is qualified mill operators. They're in great short supply. So we've already gone out and recruited a top-line metallurgist that's got experience not only in milling, but also in heap leach. Having worked for one of the major heap leach contracting companies in the world, recognized authorities. We've picked up a great team of geologists, mining engineer. So we're really all there.
So it's a simple idea. Is anyone else doing it?
No, I mean, maybe it just takes a while. I've had this idea for about 35 years.
Right, because everyone wants scale, don't they? Markets, give me scale. I need big.
And even I, as a geologist, I tried it once with an 1,100 ton a day mill and realized how many small mines you need to fill an 1,100 ton a day mill. My limited knowledge was based on geology, so I had no idea. It just seemed like an easy concept. We'll just throw this stuff in the mill, but you can't run it unless it's almost full.
Right.
So it was impossible. So now we've got a much smaller mill.
Sorry, I'm doing math in my head, like you've done. Where you go already? Where you go? Okay, we're talking gold here, aren't we?
Yeah, gold and silver. Gold primarily. Yeah. So
that changes the landscape somewhat, because the kind of cost of this milling, cost of transporting, the cost of, and do you need to necessarily own the feedstock, as it were?
You don't have to. You could run a toll milling where you toll for others, but we would prefer that. Usually ends up in a dispute.
Right. Okay.
Almost always.
Right.
So we don't really want to be a service provider. We'd much rather either pay a higher royalty to the landowner, or buy the ore from the landowner before it leaves their property. Or the best of all cases are the properties that we actually own and control ourselves, and we've got about 7 of those in the state already, and we continue to look for those. Okay. Many of which we staked ourselves. Many of which I've held personally for a long time, and we've got. One that has several 100,000 historic ounce resource, which fit into the first category of the small open pit. And that's something we're certainly looking at there. But it also has a high-grade vein that is the feeder vein to that system, which only has 3 drill holes in it, and they're all quite nice grades. So, we've got both models fit that property. At the same time, we have others that have been thoroughly explored by large companies, and there's a resource of 10 or 20 or 30,000 ounces there. But it's high enough grade to mill, and it's just sitting there waiting to happen.
So you've got to find them? It sounds like that's not too hard in this state.
It's not too hard. I've been looking for them. When I was walking around looking for million-ounce deposits, I took pretty good notes of the smaller ones. So I've got a list of over 50 of them.
Then you need to validate the historic data. So that takes a bit of time, bit of money. So that process, how do you expedite matters there?
Well, we happen to also own our own track-mounted RC rig.
Okay.
So we can do all the drilling we need to in-house as well.
Right.
And of course, we've contracted a drilling contractor to do that.
Right. Okay. So I'm trying to think of all the things that, given this is going to be a public vehicle, that the market has probably not seen before. It's a simple idea. Even I get it, and I like it. I've thought about this in other sectors as well. But so you find them, you validate them, you've got your own rig. Then you need to work out, I guess, once you get the cash flowing, you can then kind of start rippling out. Because transportation is going to be the cost component, right?
There are a lot of factors here.
Yeah.
And, the first question everyone asks me is, what on God's green earth makes you think you can do this? And, the answer is really quite simple. Wow. They asked us that before we did it in the Yukon. We did the exact same model in the Yukon.
Okay.
We built a 50-ton-a-day mill, transported the ore 120 kilometers in super sacks on the back of a flatbed, and processed the ore and made a very nice recovery and produced quite a bit of gold out of essentially a small test mine on a much larger property. But it's the same model. And was it easy? No. Did we make mistakes? Yeah, quite a few of them.
Right.
But by the end of the first year, we'd learned a lot, and it worked pretty smoothly from there on out.
Different temperatures.
Yeah, well, first thing you got to have a guy that knows what he's doing. So finding that mill guy that's, knows what we've done. I've learned enough to know what I don't know. And those are the people we recruited.
Okay. So this is going to, okay, so I like the idea. I really genuinely like the idea. And it will, well, you'll have to maybe help me with the economics as you kind of move forward, and each project's going to be slightly, or each asset's going to be slightly different.
Well, the subscription agreement's in the mail, so
thank you very much.
Yeah,
I'm in. What's the timing of all of this?
It's underway. I mean, we're in Tonopah right now, going to be looking at the mill that we've purchased.
Right.
We've actually got a metallurgist in tow as well as a geologist, so we've actually begun the program. We've had a bit of private money raised at this point. We'll probably raise a bit more. And then we certainly want to have our ducks lined up, if you will, when we go public and ready to go. Like I say, the long pole in the tent for us will be re-permitting the mill site.
Right.
And we do have to move it because the mill we got a pretty good deal on doesn't have room for tailings. So there's always a catch. That was the catch, but it's still What it does is it brings a problem that would have hit us in the face a few years down the road, running out of tailing space, right to the front. We deal with it up front. We find a spot to move this, an ideal spot. So the next few months we'll be really intensively trying to identify and characterize that spot. Because as you say, you don't want to move it more than once.
Okay.
And that's the point at which we'll be going public, is once we figured out exactly where it's going and has the most optimal setup, lowest cost, location within an area where you've got a lot of high-grade potential small deposits to bring into the central mill. So it's essentially satellite facilities going into a central plant.
Okay, and so for just to finish off, in terms of the types of investors that might be interested in this, how do you pitch this to them in one sentence?
Well, I think it's quite simple. Is everyone in the gold business is looking for and doing the same thing, and they have been for 50 years. And at least in the West and in the U.S., maybe not so in some of the smaller countries with mom and pop mines, we simply got a new angle on a very valuable commodity. And, I don't think we're going to threaten Newmont or any of the big companies, but it's a very nice cash flow model. Mm-hmm. And I think it'll certainly prove to be, successful, a mid-size producer once you replicate the model throughout the really mineral-endowed areas of the U.S.
So I just want to be really clear with us, an investor, we'd be getting out of this, because you say that the market values companies a certain way at the moment. Show me scales, whatever margin, whatever it is, and future potential, more importantly, blue sky.
Yep.
This thing feels like it's a kind of cash machine.
It is. We're going to sell them a little bit of blue sky, but only as the icing on the real cash coming out the front door, which is kind of a new model for mining, cash flow.
Very old school. So, but that's the point. Is you want to get to cash quickly and then use that cash to give you optionality as to how you play this going forward. That's the idea.
Once you get this going, it's scalable.
Am I thinking a dividend company?
Certainly, as a large shareholder, I'm got that in my mind, yes. But, first things first. We're going to find a spot to put the mill.
Okay. Good to see you, Bill.
Thank you. Thanks, Matt.